everyone. How are you guys today? My name is Bruno, and today we're going to talk about 30 verbs you must know in Brazilian Portuguese. It's not just verb to be, I am, you are, but we have a list with 30 verbs that you need to know to at least start speaking Portuguese. Without these verbs, you cannot hold any kind of conversation. So that's the start point. And we're also going to see a few conjugations, how to use this in the present, past, future. So a lot of information today. This is a live session, so please leave in the chat if you're new, if you are studying Portuguese right now, if you're just starting to study Portuguese, if you studied before, I was asking you if you're a new user. You're not a new user. If you studying Portuguese this year, it's been a long time, just leave here in the chat. I'll be happy to answer any question that you guys have in the middle of this live. So guys, 30 verbs that you need to know in Brazilian Portuguese. I was here drinking my coffee, also drinking water. I'm in Brasilia, Brazil. It's 3:20 p.m., so it's in the middle of the evening. And I think you are ready to start. Let me just make sure that my sound is clear. Yeah, it seems that my audio is fine on yeah, it seems that my audio is fine on YouTube as well. And we are ready to start. Let's do it. So guys, I'll be sharing my screen with you and take 30 verbs that you need to know in Brazilian Portuguese. 30 verbs, not two, not three, not five. 30 verbs that you need to know if you want to be fluent in Portuguese. So let's see. The first verb that you have here, I know that probably you already know this verb, but let's take a look. This is the verb. I'm going to get there. For some reason, there is a delay to change the presentation. Okay, it is not. Okay, now I can see. So these verbs will help you, as you can see, in everyday communication, but let's go and see the first verb. As you can see, the verb to be, because you cannot say, I am Brazilian, I'm American, I'm a doctor. You cannot say basically anything about you without the verb to be in Portuguese. So, as you may know, the verb to be could be two verbs in Portuguese, ser and estar. Ser, we're going to use for permanent situations like your professional, your nationality. For example, eu sou brasileiro. Eu sou brasileiro. Can you use this verb in a sentence? If you can, leave. Leave your comment using this sentence, this verb in Portuguese. For example, I am American. I am Japanese. I am Italian. Trying to use verb to be permanent. Ser. Eu sou brasileiro. How we would use this in the future? I'll be a doctor in 5 years. I'll be a doctor in 5 years. That will be eu vou, eu vou ser médico em 5 anos. I'll be a doctor in 5 years. Eu vou ser médico em 5 anos. What if we try to use the past of this verb? Ser, the verb to be like I was. Could be two things. But when you use in the permanent, for example, I was a doctor. I was a doctor. But I'm not anymore. That would be eu era. Eu era médico, mas eu não sou médico mais. I was a doctor, but I'm not a doctor anymore. That's how we can use the verb to be ser in the present, eu sou. In the future, eu vou ser. And in the past, eu era. Good? Good so far? That's the first verb. And if you don't know this verb yet, you need to study. This verb is very important. Let's see. Let's continue. Let's move on. Eu sou mexicana. Pretty good, Milo. That's correct. Pretty good. I also see you guys on Instagram. We are live at the same time on YouTube, on Instagram. Pretty good, Milo. Eu sou mexicana. That's perfect. It's very similar to Spanish. Okay, moving on. The next verb I have here, estar, is also the verb to be, but also now is a temporary verb. So you're going to use for temporary states like I am studying, I was studying, I will be traveling, I'm in Brazil right now. So I'm happy today. Eu estou feliz hoje. But what if, let me just turn on the AC. Just give me 1 second. Okay, better now. How we can say I'll be in Brazil in 2 weeks. I'll be in Brazil in 2 weeks. Eu vou estar no Brasil em 5 semanas. I'll be in Brazil in 5 weeks. That's how you can say eu vou estar no Brasil em 5 semanas. But what if we try to use the past using this verb? I was in Brazil last week. I was in Brazil. I was in Brazil. Eu estava no Brasil semana passada. So again, present. Eu estou no Brasil agora. Future. Eu vou estar no Brasil em 5 semanas. And the past. Eu estava no Brasil semana passada. I was in Brazil last week. So, again, the verb to be. This one is the temporary one. Hi, everyone on YouTube. Hey, everyone on Instagram. How are you guys today? It was raining a few minutes ago. I could use this verb in this situation. Estava raining, chovendo, a few minutes, alguns minutos ago, atrás. Estava chovendo alguns minutos atrás. That's the second verb from our list. We have more verbs to see. Let's move on. Let's move on. This session, this live will be a little bit longer than the rest, but I want to give you content, 30 verbs and how to use them in present, future, and past. What else we have here? The next verb will be is loading. Aha, to have. And that dog disappeared. Okay, the dog is back. There is this dog. Okay, maybe it's easier to see if it's like this. Now you can see the dog left. But have, eu, pay attention to the pronunciation. Tenho, tenho, tenho. It's a nasal sound. Eu tenho cachorro. I have a dog. I will have a new job. I'll have a new iPhone. How we can say that in Portuguese? Always using vou. Eu vou ter iPhone novo. I'll have a new iPhone. Eu vou ter uma casa nova. I'll have a new house. But what if I want to say I had a car? I had a car. I had a car. Eu tinha. Eu tinha uma casa. It was a car. Eu tinha carro. Eu tinha carro. Ok? So present, eu tenho. Future, eu vou ter, ter. And the past, eu tinha. Present, future, and past. Sounds good? This verb is irregular, so even if we study the rules to conjugate verbs, you need to study this verb specifically, otherwise you'll not be able to use it, right? That's a irregular verb. Pretty good, pretty good. Any questions so far, guys? I can see you guys on Instagram. It seems that... E a conjugação estive. Aha, estive, that's an interesting question. Estive, you can also use in Portuguese, but when you say I was eating, you're not going to use estive. I was eating, I was traveling. Every time that you use a verb after estar, I was eating, I was traveling, I was studying, I was sleeping, I was working, I was anything, would be estava. Eu estava. Estive, it's similar to I have been in Brazil. Eu estive no Brazil. I have been in Brazil in 2020, or I was in Brazil in 2020. So estive, you can use only in specific situations. 90% of the time, you're going to use estava and not estive. So if you have no idea how to use estive or estava, I would say try to use estava, because it would be correct. Eu estava no Brasil em 2020, em 2020. Would work as well. So estava is my recommendation to you to use. You don't need to use estive. Most of the time, estava will work for all the situations, but the opposite is not true. You cannot use estive all the time. You need to use estava. Great question. Thanks for your question. Karen, thank you. I want to be part of the course. There is no course. If you want to book a trial lesson, you can find a link in my bio, but there is no course. Okay, pretty good, pretty good. Let's continue. Let's continue. Or you can send me a DM. Pedro. You can send me a DM. You can DM me and you can talk about that. But let me see how guys are on YouTube. Okay, pretty good. Let's move on. The next verb that we have is fazer. Fazer is to do, to make. And that's again is a irregular verb. I do my homework. Eu faço. Again, the pronunciation. Eu faço meu dever de casa. Eu faço meu dever de casa. I do my homework. Eu faço meu dever de casa. So, eu faço, I do, I make. What if I want to say, I'll make coffee? I'll make coffee. So, I'm using future. Eu vou, again, fazer. Eu vou fazer café. Depois. Depois dessa aula, after this class, eu vou fazer café. Eu vou fazer café. That's the future. And the past. I did my what I did. I did my homework. I'm not creative at this moment. I did more coffee. I did my homework. How would I say that? The past using to do and to make. Eu fiz. Or I made the payment. I made the payment. Eu fiz. Eu fiz o pagamento. Payment. So present, eu faço. Future, vou fazer. And past, eu fiz. Eu fiz. So far, so good. Let me show you one more verb and then I take a look at your comments. As you can see, all the verbs that you're seeing, they are irregular. And you need to know these verbs to speak Portuguese. Because without to make, to do, to be, to go, you cannot say a lot of sentences in Portuguese. So, we go to the park. We go to the park. How we can say that in Portuguese? As you can see, nós vamos ao parque. Nós vamos ao parque. Parque. Nós vamos ao parque. The future, always using vou if it's I, but he is we. So, nós vamos. Nós vamos ir. Nós vamos ir ao parque. We'll go to the park. Not we go, we will go, we're going to the park. Nós vamos ir ao parque. What about we went to the park? We went. Nós fomos. Nós fomos with F in the beginning. Nós fomos ao parque. So, present, nós vamos. Future, nós vamos ir. We're going to. We will go is the same in Portuguese. And we went, the past. Nós fomos ao parque. Nós fomos ao cinema. Sounds good? Let me see if you guys have any questions so far. I don't see questions. Seems that we're fine on YouTube. Okay, pretty good, pretty good. Great. I'm also taking a look at the comments on Instagram, guys, so don't worry. If you have any question, just let me know. Okay, let's move it on. After to go, we have the verb. We have the verb poder. That's can, to be able to. So, can I help you? Can I help you? Posso ajudar você. Ajudar você. That's to help. Posso is can, right? Can I? Posso, can I buy you a drink? Posso te pagar uma bebida? Posso te pagar drink? Posso te pagar drink? Can I buy you a drink? Or you could use future. Eu vou poder falar português em 2 meses. I'll be able to speak Portuguese in 2 months. So poder could be when you can do something and when you are able to do something. I can swim. I'm able to swim. Eu posso nadar. Future. Eu vou poder falar português em 3 meses. I'll be able to speak Portuguese in 3 months. And the past. Eu pude aprender português. I could learn Portuguese. Eu pude aprender português. Pretty good, pretty good. Moving on. After poder, we have to say, to tell. Dizer. 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 Ele diz a verdade. He tells the truth. Diz. Ele diz a verdade. So, dizer, to say, and to tell. Eu digo. Eu digo. Again, is a irregular verb. Eu digo a verdade. I tell the truth. The future. Eu vou dizer tudo o que eu sei. I would tell everything that I know. Eu vou dizer tudo o que eu sei. And the past. I said that you should study. I said. Eu disse. Eu disse que você deveria estudar. I told you, I said that you should study. Eu disse que você deveria estudar. So, eu digo, vou dizer, and disse. Digo, vou dizer, disse. Present, future, and past. Moving on. We have more verbs to see. Dar, that is to give. To give. Aha. Eu dou is the present. Eu dou presente para o meu amigo todo dia. Eu dou presente para meu gato todo dia. I give a gift, a present to my cat every day. Eu dou presente todo dia. Eu vou dar uma casa para a minha família. Eu vou dar uma casa para a minha família. I'll give a house to my family. And the past. I gave a car to my girlfriend. I gave a car to my girlfriend. Eu dei. Eu dei carro para minha namorada. She was laughing. Eu dei carro para minha namorada. I gave a car to my girlfriend. So that's dar. Eu dou, eu vou dar, eu dei. That's how we can use in Portuguese. Before we move on, let me see if you guys have any questions so far. Haha. Karen is asking, do you have any video, some place to recommend on formal vocabulary? There's a video on my YouTube channel, Karen. If you go right there, you can see the last video with 10 expressions that you should know in Brazilian Portuguese. They are not formal or informal, but you need to know those expressions in Portuguese, like always on the go, and I don't care, I don't mind, these kind of expressions. You can see it if you go to my YouTube channel. The last video is posted there, you're going to see it. Okay, pretty good. Hey Anna, hey Yulen, hey Yarene, hey everyone, how are you guys today? Okay, let's move on. What did you see? What else we have here? The next one, ver, to see. Eu posso ver a montanha daqui. Montanha. I can see. Eu posso ver. I can see. Eu posso ver. Or I see. Eu vejo. Eu vejo. Eu vejo a montanha daqui. I can see the mountain from here. Eu vejo. Present. Eu vou ver você em 2 semanas. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Eu vou ver você em 2 semanas. I'll see you in 2 weeks. I saw you last week. I saw you last week. Eu vi. Eu vi. I saw. Eu vi você last week. Semana passada. Sounds good? So, eu vejo. Eu vou ver. Eu vi. Moving on. Ficar. Ficar. To stay or to be located. We stay at home. We stay at home. Nós vamos ficar em casa. That's present. Nós vamos ficar em casa. Actually, nós vamos ficar em casa is future. We'll stay at home. Present would be nós ficamos em casa. Yeah, my bad. Nós ficamos em casa. That would be a present. Nós vamos ficar em casa this weekend. Este fim de semana. That's future. And the past. Nós ficamos em casa semana passada. We stayed at home last week. Let me just do one. Oh no. Just let me do one simple thing here. Okay, I think you guys still be able to see that, but I can show a little bit more my hands here on YouTube. Let me put this a little bit more to the left. Okay, now you guys can see me a little bit better on YouTube. Okay, that should be better. I'm a little bit bigger on YouTube, but let's continue our list. Ficar, to stay. Eu fico, nós ficamos, eu vou ficar, eu fiquei, the past. So I recommend you to study this verb as well. Let's see 3 more verbs and then I'll take a look at your comments. Then we have saber, to know. Saber. I know the answer. Eu sei. I know, eu sei. Not eu sabo. Please, guys, don't say eu sabo. That doesn't exist in Portuguese. Eu sabo. Eu sei. I know. Eu sei a resposta. I know this. I know the answer. I will know the answer tomorrow. Eu vou saber a resposta tomorrow. Amanhã. I knew the answer. I knew the answer. Eu sabia a resposta. Eu sabia a resposta da pergunta. I knew the answer for the question. Eu sabia. Okay, let's continue. What else we have? The next verb we have is querer. I want. I want an ice cream. Eu quero. Eu quero sorvete. Sorvete. I want an ice cream. Eu quero sorvete. That's also the way that you're going to ask, you're going to order in a restaurant. I want a beer, please. Or can I have a beer, please? That's the way that you're going to say in Portuguese. I want it, please. So, I want a beer. I would like a beer. Eu quero uma cerveja, por favor. So you just say that you want something and you add please at the end. That's how a native would say this in Portuguese in a bar, if you're at a restaurant. That's the way that we would say. Eu quero um, uma cerveja, por favor. I would like a beer, please. In the future, eu vou querer, I will want, estudar português todo dia. I will want to study Portuguese every day. I will want, eu vou querer. In the past, eu quis. I did that. Eu fiz aquilo because I wanted. Porque eu quis. Quis. Again, quis. That's the past of I want. Wanted. Eu quis. 2 more verbs. Let's see. Pensar. To spend time. How are you going to say that in Portuguese? Let me just pause that video because there is a background noise. Passar is to pass and also to spend time. So, I will spend a week at the beach. Vou passar uma semana na praia. Or, if I want to use future, That's the future actually. Eu vou passar uma semana na praia. How can I use present? Eu passo o dia inteiro estudando português. I spend the whole day studying Portuguese. Eu passo o dia inteiro estudando português. Sounds good? Eu passo, present. Eu vou passar, future. Eu passei. Eu passei uma semana com a minha família no México. I spent 1 week with my family in Mexico. Sounds good? That's how you can use passar. Eu passo, eu vou passar, eu passei. That's the past. Before I take a look at your comments, dever, dever, that's must, when you must do something. So, eu devo estudar mais. Eu devo estudar mais. I must study more. What if I want to use the future? I will must sounds a little bit weird, right? It's like I'll have to do this. That would be better than I will must to do that. But it could work in the past. I must had studied. So something similar to that, it would be like I should have studied would be better than I must in the past. So eu deveria ter estudado. I should have studied more if I wanted to pass the exam. Eu deveria ter estudado mais se eu quisesse passar no teste. That's an advanced sentence. Eu devo, I must. For future, I would use I'll have to. Eu vou ter que estudar mais. I'll have to study more if I want to learn. Eu vou ter que estudar mais. And the past, I should have studied. Eu deveria ter estudado. Sounds good? Pretty good. Take a look at your comments now. That's a waterfall. But let me see your comments. Hey, Julian, boa tarde. How are you? Se pode dizer que I say eu te vi, you could say that eu te vi, I saw you. That's perfect. Eu te vi, I saw you. You could say that. Or eu vi você. You could also use that in a formal language. What else we have? Great. Let's move on. Let's move on. We still have a few more verbs to see. Vir. The verb vir is to come. To come. Vir. I always come here to relax. Eu sempre venho. I come. Eu venho aqui para relaxar. Eu sempre venho aqui para relaxar. That's the present. Venho. What about future? Eu vou vir para o Brasil. I'll come to Brazil in 2 weeks. Eu vou vir para o Brasil em 2 semanas. I came here 20 minutes ago. I came here. Eu vim aqui há 20 minutos. I came, eu vim. Sounds good? I know that I say sounds good all the time, but that's a good way to say that in English. How to say sounds good in Portuguese? By the way, how to say that? Sounds good. Would be more or less like até agora tudo bem? Faz sentido? That would be does that make sense? So far so good. That would be the sounds good in Portuguese. Até agora tudo bem? Faz sentido? Let's move on. To put. To put. I'll put the book on the table. Eu vou pôr o livro na mesa. Eu vou pôr o livro na mesa. That's future. But what if I want to use present? How it's I put the book on the table. I put the book on the table. Eu ponho. Ponho. I know that's hard to pronounce. Ponho. Ponho. These nasal sounds in English, you can think about the word town. Town. Town or clown. Town. Clown. So town, ponho, nho, nho. It's very similar to the sound. So think about town, clown, and will help you to do this pronunciation. So I put the book on the table. Eu ponho o livro na mesa. What about the past? How would say that in the past? Eu eu pus o livro na mesa. Eu pus o livro na mesa. That would be the past. Let's move on. Almost there. Chegar. Chegar is to arrive. Here you can already see the past. Ele chegou cedo. Chegou. Chegou cedo. Eu chego cedo. That's the present. I arrive early. Present. Eu chego cedo sempre. I always arrive early. Eu chego cedo sempre. What about the future? Eu vou chegar em 20 minutos. I'll arrive in 20 minutes. Or the past, eu cheguei no Brasil ontem. Eu cheguei no Brasil ontem. I arrived in Brazil yesterday. Hey Alex, how are you? How's it going? I'm in Brasilia right now. It's raining a little bit. I hope you have a wonderful Friday. Is today Friday? Yeah, it is. A wonderful Friday. We are getting almost to the end of this list of 30 verbs that you guys need to know if you want to hold a conversation in Portuguese. And guys, let me just stop for a second the screen sharing. Because if you really want to speak Portuguese, guys, there is one thing that you need to do. You need to speak. And I have seen a lot of students, they're trying to learn Portuguese, they're just studying grammar, they're just listening, watching videos, but they're not speaking. I know your goal is to speak Portuguese, but if you're not speaking, if you're not practicing, that will be very hard to happen. It'll be very difficult. So you should speak from day one. Yes. If you started speaking, learning Portuguese today, you should be speaking like, "Hi, my name is Alex. I like to watch TV." Simple sentences with one verb and one word. I like coffee. I like chocolate. I love chocolate. Just simple sentence, but you should be speaking from day one. So please have this in mind. And that's very important. Okay. Okay. So Alex in Friday night. He's in Ukraine. No rain. Okay. Pretty good. Good to know. Moving on. I'm going to take a look at the comments on Instagram in a second, but let's move on. After chegar, we also have deixar. Deixar is to let. Deixar, let. Or leave. Eu vou deixar o documento na mesa. I'll leave the document on the table. But it could also be let. I'll let you travel alone. Eu vou deixar você travel, viajar alone, sozinho or sozinha. That's eu vou deixar future, right? I will let. Eu vou deixar você viajar sozinho. What about present? How can you use this in the present? Eu deixo. I let. Eu deixo você falar português. I let you speak Portuguese. Eu deixo você falar português. And the past, eu deixei. Eu deixei você no aeroporto. I left you at the airport. Eu deixei você no aeroporto. Eu deixei. So present, future, and past. The replay of this session will be available for 1 week, so you'll be able to watch again, take notes. So don't worry about that. Just one more verb, and then I'll take a look at the verbs, at the comments, at the questions, at the concerns that you may have so far. So, guys, encontrar is to find and meet, and give me 1 second. Bless me. Thank you. Yeah, it's the AC. Sorry. Encontrar is to find and to meet. To find and to meet. Encontrar. To find and to meet. But how do I know if I'm using encontrar to find or to meet someone? If you're going to meet your friends, you're going to use encontrar. if you already know that, it's not the first time that you guys are meeting. So I'm going to, eu vou encontrar, I will meet my friends later. Eu vou encontrar meus amigos mais tarde. I'll meet my friends later. And also to find. I cannot find my keys. I cannot find my keys. How can you say that? I can't, eu não consigo, encontrar minhas chaves, my keys. Eu não consigo encontrar minhas chaves. I can't find my keys. So encontrar could be to find and meet. Future, eu vou encontrar. Present, eu encontro. And past, eu encontrei. Eu encontrei. That would be the past. Sounds good? Okay, okay. Let me see a few comments here. How are you guys on Instagram? Let me take a look. Okay, pretty good. I don't see any question on Instagram. Seems that so far we are good. Let me go back to YouTube. Ah, the Wale. The way you take it slowly is very understandable. Okay, appreciate that. Alex, are you using São Paulo's accent? Bless you. I'm in Brasilia right now. I'm kind of using a neutral accent. I'm not using an accent of a specific part of Brazil. My accent right now it's pretty neutral. So it's not Northwest, it's not São Paulo, it's not Rio. So this accent will be easily understood by anyone in Brazil. So it's not that R from Rio or a different accent from São Paulo. It's just a regular Brazilian accent. Okay. Why is nos coming before the encontrar? Okay. Nos. No, vamos nos encontrar. Is going to see, going to meet each other tomorrow. That's that nos that you're seeing there. That's not we, that's each other. Vamos nos encontrar amanhã. We're going to meet each other tomorrow. That's how you can translate that. Let's move on. Levar, to take and carry. So when you want to say it takes time to do this. It takes time. You can say leva tempo para fazer isso. It takes time to do this. Leva tempo. Or, if you want to use the future, vou levar você ao aeroporto. Vou levar você ao aeroporto. I'll take you to the airport. So, levar, take or carry. Eu estou levando, I'm carrying, uma mala, luggage, suitcase. Eu estou levando uma mala. I'm carrying a suitcase. I'm carrying my bag. Eu estou levando uma mala. Moving on. Pensar, to think. But pensar, guys, is when you're having thoughts. It's not when you want to express your opinion. Not when you want to say, oh, I think you should do this. I think you should do that. That's not the way you're going to use this verb. Think is when you're having thoughts. So, eu estou pensando em viajar para o Japão. I'm thinking about traveling to Japan. Eu estou pensando em viajar para o Japão. If I want to use the future, I'll think about that. Eu vou pensar about that. Sobre isso. I'll think about that. Eu vou pensar sobre isso. And I thought you were American. I thought you were American. Eu pensei que você fosse americano. I thought you were American. Eu pensei que você fosse americano. So, eu penso, eu vou pensar, eu pensei. We're getting to the end of the list. A few more verbs, so 30 verbs, 30 verbs that you need to know. Conhecer, to know and to meet. So, conhecer, you're going to use for meet only when you're meeting this person for the first time. So when I'm seeing you for the first time in my life, when we met, I would say, I met you yesterday. Eu conheci você ontem. It means it's the first time I saw you. I met you yesterday. Eu conheci você ontem. I know a good restaurant here. Eu conheço um bom restaurante aqui. Sounds good? So that was past, then present, and future. Eu vou conhecer você quando eu viajar para a Ucrânia. So, Alex, I will meet you when I travel to Ukraine. Eu vou conhecer você quando eu viajar para a Ucrânia. Moving on. Sentir. Sentir. Sentir is to feel. Feel. Eu sinto dor no meu joelho. Eu sinto dor no meu joelho. Present. Eu senti. I felt. Eu senti dor no meu joelho ontem. Yesterday. When I was working out. Quando eu estava malhando. Quando eu estava fazendo exercício. And the future. Eu vou sentir. I will feel. Eu vou sentir happiness when I'm in Brazil. Eu vou sentir felicidade quando eu estiver no Brasil. So, sentir, sinto, vou sentir, senti. That will be the past. Just a few more verbs. Missing 6 verbs to end the list. 6 more verbs to end our list. Pedir. You're going to use pedir to ask for something. So, can I ask you a favor? You're going to use pedir. Posso pedir favor? Can I ask you a favor? Posso te pedir favor? Or when you want to order in a restaurant. So, I'm ready to order would be eu estou pronto para pedir. I'm ready to order. Eu estou pronto para pedir. Pedir, order, or to ask. The future, eu vou pedir. The past, eu pedi. And the present, eu peço. I ask your help. Eu peço a sua ajuda. Very good. Moving on. Trabalhar, this verb you know it, right? This is a regular verb, so this one you should know it. Trabalhar. Eu trabalho na escola. Trabalho sounds like million in English. $1,000,000. Eu trabalho na escola. Eu trabalho na escola. I will work tomorrow. Eu vou trabalhar amanhã. I worked last week. Eu trabalhei semana passada. Great. Moving on. Voltar, to return, to come back. So, eu volto para casa todo dia. I return home, I come back home every day. I will come home in a week. Eu vou voltar para casa em uma semana. And I came back, I returned last summer. Eu voltei last summer, no último verão. So, eu volto, vou voltar, voltei. That will be the best. So far, so good. I'm going to show you the other verbs that are missing and then answer any question that you guys may have. Usar, to use. Eu uso o computador todo dia. Eu uso o computador todos os dias. What if I want to use the future? I will use my laptop tomorrow. Eu vou usar meu laptop. Laptop, that's laptop. Amanhã. Eu vou usar meu laptop amanhã. And the past, eu usei o meu laptop while I was traveling. Enquanto eu estava viajando. Achar. Achar is to find and to think. Achar. To find and to think. Eu acho que ele está certo. I think he is right. Eu acho que ele está certo. So achar you can use when you want to express your opinion. So here, this think is not when you're having thoughts, but when you want to express your thing. Like I think, I guess I should do that. So I think you are, I don't know, I think you are doing pretty good on this job. So when you're expressing your opinion, eu acho que você está fazendo um bom trabalho dessa empresa. Achar. Then the future, eu vou achar. And the past, eu achei. Eu achei. Good. Two more. We have viver, to live. So, I live in São Paulo. I live in São Paulo. Eu, eu vivo em São Paulo. Eu vivo em São Paulo. Eles vivem em São Paulo. They live in São Paulo. I will live in Madrid in a few months. Eu vou viver em Madrid em alguns meses. I lived in New York last year. Eu morei em Nova York ano passado. So, I live, eu vivo, I will live, eu vou viver, and the past, eu vivi, vivi. Vivo, vou viver, vivi. And the last verb that we have here, to continue, continuar. Eu continuo, I continue, eu continuo estudando português. That would be present. The future would be let's continue studying Portuguese. Vamos continuar estudando português. And the past, eu continuei a estudar português. I continue to study português even without time. Mesmo sem tempo. Ok? Sounds good? So, continuo, vou continuar, continuei. That would be the past. And this list, guys, we have 30 verbs that you must know in Brazilian Portuguese. I'm going to answer any question that you guys have now. Before this, I will just do one thing. Let me leave just two links in the chat. This first link can book a trial lesson, a free trial lesson. Just use this link in the chat here on YouTube and you'll be able to book a trial lesson. Then, if you want to download 50 verbs that you must, not verbs, sorry, 50 phrases that everyone should know before traveling to Brazil, just use this link that I'm going to also leave in the chat. Give me 1 second. Just use this link that I'm going to leave in the chat, and then I'm going to answer all the questions. What it is right here. You can see we have a few questions on YouTube. I'm going to answer them in a second. Okay. Yeah, 50 verbs you must know, 50 phrases you must know in Brazilian Portuguese. Just use this link for the 50 phrases and you'll be able to download for free these 50 phrases that you need before traveling to Brazil if you want to speak Portuguese. Okay, let me answer questions. Adewale, you translated eu vou sentir felicidade quando eu estive. I will feel happiness when I'm in Brazil. Aha. In this case, Adewale is not estive. I'm using estiver. Estiver is the future of subjunctive. I know that name is weird, but quando eu estiver is the future of subjunctive, and you're going to use when you're talking about uncertain things about the future. So, I will do that when I'm in Brazil. So, when I'm in Brazil, I'm going to do that. Instead of eu estou, quando eu estou no Brasil, eu vou fazer isso. Sounds a little bit weird in português. So instead of quando eu estou, we need to say quando eu estiver no Brasil. We have the R at the end. Quando eu estiver no Brasil. Another example. When I have money, I will buy a new car. Quando eu não tenho, not when I have, quando eu tenho. Quando eu tiver. Quando eu tiver dinheiro, I'll buy a car. Eu vou comprar um carro. So pay attention. This tense is the future of subjunctive in Portuguese. Yeah, it's not the same as quando eu tenho. It's a little bit different. Okay, a verb may have more than one meaning. How can we know when to use the correct one? It really depends on the context, the situation. For example, if I say, eu conheci você ontem. Eu conheci você ontem. Eu conheci could be I knew you yesterday or I met you yesterday. Eu conheci você ontem. You could understand as I met you yesterday. And conheci, you're going to use when you're meeting for the first time. So it really depends on the context. That's why vocabulary is very important because depending on the verb, it could be multiple things in Portuguese. I think the same happens in English. Zeynep. Is there a difference between moro and vivo? Yes, there is a difference. Because eu moro no Brasil, eu vivo no Brasil is the same. But viver is to live in general. In general, it's related to the word alive. I'm alive, I live. But moro, morar, is specifically for the city that you live, or the neighborhood, or the country. So it's your location that you're living in right now. So eu moro no Brasil. Eu morei nos Estados Unidos. I lived in the United States. So the difference is morar can only be used to talk about the place you lived, or that you're living, or that you live. But viver, you could use I like to live my life with challenges. I like to live my life facing challenges. So this kind of live, you will never use morar. You need to use viver. Eu gosto de viver a minha vida facing, enfrentando challenges, desafios. Sounds good? So it's not the same, it's very similar. Both could be I live in New York, eu moro em Nova York, eu vivo em Nova York. But viver you can use for more situations than morar. So that's the difference. Okay, okay. I don't see any other questions on YouTube, on Instagram. Seems that you guys are fine. Let me leave the link again. So this first link, you can book a trial lesson. And the other link, you can download 50 phrases that you must know in Brazilian Portuguese. If you're traveling to Brazil, if you started to learn Portuguese, you must know those 50 phrases on this file. So please download it. Adewale, how can I gain more vocabulary in Portuguese? Because I learned some words and I don't hear them in a day-to-day Portuguese. Thereby, I forget the words. How can I know words that are commonly used? You need first to use them. Think about your routine. So, that's a great example. Here, I have glass, I have a laptop, I have a microphone, I have a camera, I have a curtain, I have a wall, I have a window, I have a bed, I have a desk. Think about the things around you right now. These are the things that you should start learning the vocabulary. How are you going to say this in Portuguese? And also the things that you do daily. So I wake up at 7. I drink coffee. I love matcha. I like to sing. I like to dance. I don't like to take cold showers. I like to cook. I love to buy clocks. I don't have time to study. So all the things that you usually do, you should be able to say that in Portuguese. And the only way to remember the vocabulary, the words, the conjugation, it's speaking. So you need to speak, 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 speak. Otherwise, you're not going to remember the words when needed. And guys, I'll appreciate that you stood here with me for almost 1 hour on this session. Thank you so much for your time. I hope that you have a great weekend. You have 2 links in the chat. In case you want to take a Portuguese next level, you can book a trial lesson. And if not, you can also download those 50 phrases that you must know before traveling to Brazil. How to buy things, how to ask for discount, if you kind of in danger in Brazil, if you need help, how to going to ask for help, how going to meet someone. All of this you can see in the chat. I hope that you have a great day, great weekend, and to see you soon. Take care. See you. And I'll see you next week. We'll be here next Friday again doing another live. Okay, so see you next Friday. Thank you. Take care.